Guys, it has been over 10 years since the last time we got a Mario Kart game, but it's finally here. So you know what I had to do, right? I bought a Switch too. Whoa. Okay, settle down. Hey, I said settle down. I mean, $80 can't be that bad, am I right? So I'm sure many of you are very aware that there has been a lot of controversy surrounding the launch of the Nintendo Switch 2. I remember when the leaks about the system first started coming left and right on Twitter, and to say that I was hyped would be an understatement. This meant so much to me. You gotta understand, man, the Switch 1 came out 8 years ago. I was 10 years of age when the Switch 1 came out, and now I'm 17 years old. To put that into perspective, the amount of time between the Wii U and the Switch 1 from 2012 to 2017 was only 5 years. To go from a 5-year period to an 8-year period, almost a decade of one console, was kind of crazy. To put it even more into perspective, the Switch 1 came out before TikTok was even a thing. Yeah, before all your little dances and trends and whatnot. And the whole time, I was just trying to figure out what Nintendo's next move would be. I've noticed Nintendo has this pattern where they'll make a super successful console that has its own original gimmick, like the DS, Wii, and then the Switch, and then the next generation, they'll try to recreate that magic like with the 3DS, Wii U, and now the Switch 2. And while, apart from the Wii U, this strategy has been working out pretty well for them, the second generation version never really sells as much as the original. The 3DS was a big success, but of course when compared to the OG DS, it didn't sell as well. Same with the Wii U when compared to the OG Wii. When the DS and Wii hit the market, they had such an identity and were so compelling that people just wanted to get their hands on it. But with the 3DS and Wii U, sure, they're still great consoles, but for the casual audience, it's kind of been there, done that, you know what I mean? With the Switch 2, this might be a little excusable though, because the Switch 1 is literally on track to outsell all of Nintendo's previous console sales combined. So I mean, shoot, we might as well try that again, right? I know there are a lot of issues people are having with the system, and I will get to that in due time, but what better game to release as a launch title than a new Mario Kart, baby? I remember the morning the Switch 2 got revealed along with Mario Kart World, the latest entry in the Mario Kart series. Man, I was going ape shiz.
Hey.
Oh, not you, DK.
Okay.
You think we were stuck with the Switch 1 for a while? We've been stuck with Mario Kart 8 for 10 years. Mario Kart 8 came out for the Wii U in 2014. And then when the Switch 1 came out, you might have been thinking, oh, it's a new system, it's time for a new Mario Kart, right? And you would be right. Psych, how about another 8 years of Mario Kart 8, huh? That's why we called it Mario Kart 8. You'll be stuck with it for 8 years. You like that? But now we got a brand new game after all this time? It's been so long. Even though when the Switch 2 was revealed, this was kind of the only game they showed, that was enough for me, man. What can I say? I'm a simple guy. So I rushed to like 3 GameStops the night of the Switch 2's release, got it at the midnight release, went home, and I played Mario Kart World. And I know the question that's ringing in all of your minds. Is it a good game? Well, dang, let me play the game first before you start asking all these questions. 1 Mario Kart World later. First, I want to give credit where credit is due to Mario Kart 8. Without a doubt, this has been the greatest Mario Kart game of all time. Looking back on just how much this game did, you truly gotta appreciate it. For a Wii U game released in 2014, man, this junk was legendary. I remember seeing it for the first time in just absolute awe as I grew up playing Mario Kart Wii. That was my childhood Mario Kart, and just look at the visual jump in quality. And ever since Nintendo dropped the Booster Course Pass DLC and added 48 new tracks to the game, man, you can play this game forever, bro. So I mean, this just all begs the question, how we gonna follow up a game this good? Mario Kart World. Now, where do I even begin with you? When I first opened my Switch 2 and put in the little code they gave me for the install, woo, I was hot, y'all. I was so hyped for this game that even before it came out and Nintendo had already dropped countless gameplay videos and whatnot, I had purposely avoided watching footage just so when I actually got the game, I wouldn't already know what's up. From what I had seen though, the first thing that struck me when I first saw this game was the visual style. My childhood era of Mario was what many people would refer to as bland. New Super Mario Bros. 2, Mario Kart 7, Super Mario 3D World. All games that were cool, but a lot of people look back on them and went, well, that was kinda lame. With one of the most common criticisms of this era being that it felt like Nintendo was getting a little too complacent. They already knew what would work and what would sell, so they just kept doing it. Don't fix it if it ain't broke, right? But it would appear that Nintendo actually started listening to the fans and took Mario in a more creative direction nowadays. I mean, nowhere is this more evident than in Super Mario Wonder. Everything about that game just screams creativity. Heck, in every level, you collect a power-up that creates some sort of weird effect. You can obviously tell that Nintendo was trying to beat the bland Mario accusations hard. And to its credit, Wonder is pretty awesome. Visually, I noticed a huge difference too. Mario looked a lot more cartoony per se, almost akin to how we used to look in the 90s promotional art. And would you know it, when looking at early beta footage of the game, that's definitely what they were going for. Yup, I called it. Nintendo, hire me, baby. And this new classic cartoony Mario style is clearly the direction Nintendo wants to take Mario in as a franchise now. It's evident even in how Mario bounces in his cart. Compare the bounce animation of Mario Kart 8 to Mario Kart World. World has stretch and squish effects and Mario's face is just moving. It just looks so freaking cool. But this new Mario looking a little soft, don't you think? What happened to that Mario on the cover of Mario Kart DS? Just look at him. Bro man business. Now he's just kind of cute. The character select screen, oh my gosh, they're all dancing, every last one of them. This is so charming. Compare this to the Mario Kart 8 character select screen and everybody just looked like they just clocked into their 9 to 5. Absolutely phenomenal. They knew what they were doing. And every character just looks so much more expressive during the actual races too, especially when you're doing tricks in the air, oh my gosh. But hold up. Why Rosalina got this look on her face? That smug ass look on her face. You better wipe that look off your face. Rosalina, this coffee is great. What did you put in this?
Oh, nothing. Nothing at all.
What did you put in this? Daisy, stop emoting. Daisy, you're gonna die! Speaking of cosmetics, Nintendo added so many new costumes to this game. It's actually insane. Granted, they're only really for the more important characters of the roster. Not everyone got an equal amount of costume changes. Daisy has like 5 and Pauline has like 1. And Goomba has none? There's so many Goomba variations. They could have done something. I mean, shoot, not even a dang Galoomba?
It's alright. You'll get him next time.
But at its core, it's still Mario Kart, with just a few small, minor little changes. Those changes being bringing 12 new races on the track, taking the amount of races in one race from 12 racers to 24 racers, doubling it, adding rail grinding in the game. This is not Sonic Adventure 2. You thought you were slick, Nintendo. And among a myriad of other things, making every track in this game connected to one another. Yeah, it's called Mario Kart World for a reason. What you thought we was playing? This ain't no Mario Kart Land. Oh, and how could we forget? Daisy canonically has more cake than Peach. When playing a regular Grand Prix, instead of each track being its own individual place, when you finish a race, you just drive to the next track from the end of the last track. Each track is connected, and with the new free roam feature, you can go anywhere. That's a pretty good idea, honestly, and it's pretty cool to see how each track connects to one another. Free roam is pretty cool. You can go literally anywhere on this map. It's kind of relaxing. Rosalina, watch out! My only issue is that when playing online, the game just doesn't let you pick any stage you want. It only lets you pick the surrounding stages of the area that you are in the waiting lobby, which kind of sucks because, I don't know, what if I don't want to play Moo Moo Meadows? To be honest, usually I'm not the biggest fan of open world games. I didn't really like it when Zelda did it, definitely did not like it when Sonic did it. But since in Mario Kart World, it's more of a side mode and not really the main objective of the game, it's fine. I know for a lot of people, it's just really cathartic to chill out in a free roam game and just go anywhere you want, and you know what? I can respect that. In free roam, they give you little missions to go after, such as the P-Switch challenges, collecting Peach medallions, and going over these question block panels. And let me set the record straight, I love free roam in this game, but there's just not enough reward for doing all of this, you know? The only thing you get for completing these missions are stickers. Bruh, what am I gonna do with that? I'm gonna need something a little bit more than that, you know? I don't know, I guess I just kinda expected more from free roam. I mean, honestly, Nintendo kinda made us think that it would be more than it actually was. Everybody was like, oh my gosh, free roam in Mario Kart, this is literally what we've been missing our entire lives. And then we got it and it was like, oh, that's cool. It's a lot more of a low-key mode to play when you're tired of racing, you know what I mean? If they had just given a slightly better incentive to actually play free roam, I probably would like it just a bit more. You can't really do much with stickers. And there are 394 P-Switch missions. That's a lot for just some measly old stickers. Don't get me wrong, these missions are really fun and creative. I enjoyed a lot of these. But I need some sort of reward to do this kind of thing, you know? I can't just be doing it just to do it. I am all up for being a completionist, but only if there's a good reward for doing so. If there's not a substantial enough reward for 100% completion, then I ain't want to do it. What if you could, I don't know, unlock characters through this mode? That would be pretty cool. The real way you unlock characters in this game is just by finishing the Grand Prix for the main characters, and for the NPC characters like Monty Mole, Spike, or Goomba, you unlock whenever you get hit with the Kamek item. Kamek turns you into one of these enemies, and then bam, you've officially unlocked that enemy as a playable character. And for things like costume changes, you'll just run into these little shopping bag things on certain maps that give you a meal to eat. You eat that meal, and that's how you unlock new skins. I've seen a few people upset about the way you unlock characters in this game, but to be honest, it doesn't really bother me that much. Now look, I'll tell you what does bother me, and that's all these random Mario characters they put in here. Okay, Koopa, you're good. Goomba, yeah, you're good. But then they just start getting weird, man. Crab, Pianta, Cheep, a dolphin, Coin, Coffer. Who at Nintendo looked at this character and said, bro, he's got to be it?
And of course, there's Cow, already a breakout star of the game's promotion, who seems to tickle players with her very presence.
Well, excuse me, GameSpot, but I don't find myself tickled by the very presence of this cow. The tracks in this game are absolutely delicious. There were so many times when I was playing this game for the first time that my jaw just dropped on the floor and I couldn't bring it back up just because of what I was seeing on screen. And they went crazy with some of these ideas, man. Boo Cinema, it's like an old school movie type track. Starview Peak is just beautiful. Bowser's Castle, oh my gosh. Do not get me started on Bowser's Castle. This was so freaking cool, bro. Possibly the best Bowser's Castle in any Mario Kart game ever. Every track just feels so much bigger and grander than they ever did in Mario Kart 8. It's insane. Majority of the tracks in this game are continuous, meaning that they don't just loop for 3 laps, but every lap is a different section of the course. And I don't mind that. Granted, because of this, it probably will take me longer to actually get familiar with the layouts of these tracks because they're so big, but they're still amazing. And the tracks that are remakes of older Mario Kart tracks are dang near unrecognizable. I didn't know that Wario Stadium in this game was recreating the one from Mario Kart 64. Neither did I know about Choco Mountain. Desert Hills is supposed to be a remake of the same Desert Hills from Mario Kart DS. I did not catch that the first time I played this track, that's for sure. I did recognize Wario Shipyard from Mario Kart 7 and DS Airship Fortress at certain points, but that's the thing though, only at certain points. In past Mario Kart, you could definitely tell off rip when a track was a retro track, but in this game, I didn't know any better. I would have thought these were new tracks, except for Koopa Beach. I instantly knew this was from Super Mario Kart. And I'm not gonna lie, this might have been the best Rainbow Road of all time. Hands down, it feels so grand. I mean, at this point, I'll take anything over Mario Kart Wii's Rainbow Road. No! And I know I already talked about the animations, but oh my gosh, everybody looks so alive. I'm a sucker for a game that just simply looks good, man. That's like half the worth of a game to me. This game's soundtrack, oh my gosh, this soundtrack is legendary. The coolest thing they did with the music in this game is that a lot of these songs aren't just remixes of Mario Kart songs, but just Mario songs in general. There were so many times where I heard a melody or a bass line and I was like, hey, wait, I know that song from another Mario game. Absolutely phenomenal fan service, bro. This soundtrack has remixes spanning the entire Mario franchise. It's amazing. And this game has a lot of music tracks in it. I think over 200. Nintendo was not playing. This game has a day and night cycle, which is pretty cool. It's nice to see a track during the daytime and then see it at night and see how it changes. But one gripe I have seen a lot of people talk about is these little interstate sections you have to drive going in between courses, since every track is connected now. I kinda agree that these sometimes can be boring, but to be honest, it didn't even register in my mind as an issue until I heard someone else point it out. And then I was like, oh yeah, maybe they could have done that a little differently. But I don't think it takes too much away from the gameplay, in my opinion. A lot of people online are really upset about this, but honestly, it didn't really bother me that much. We have a new game mode called Knockout Tour, where you race and all the players in the bottom positions get eliminated until there's only one player standing. I'm not gonna lie, at first I kind of wrote off Knockout Tour because the first time I played it, I did it with CPUs and it was kind of boring. But then I played it online and it was way more fun. Turns out when you're you're playing with real people, it's actually harder to win. Who would have thought? But nah, in all seriousness, Knockout Tour is great. I'm surprised there hasn't been a mode like this in previous Mario Karts, to be honest. Making sure you're in a top spot before passing the checkpoint is nerve-wracking, but really fun. And these Knockout Tours usually take you through different routes of tracks than you usually would go through just playing the Grand Prix, so that's cool too. I mean, every track in this game has like 50 different paths and routes separate from the main driving path anyway. But Knockout Tour, I'm sorry. I severely misjudged you. Now battle mode, get out.
I'm gonna be honest, never really been the biggest battle mode guy, but I know there are a lot of die-hard battle mode fans in the audience, so you let me know if it's the best thing ever made or the worst thing mankind has ever conjured up.
This is the worst thing mankind has ever conjured up. Now, what I do have a lot to say about is 24 players. 24 players might be a little too much. See, when you're in the top positions, you're mostly just chilling, having a good time, racing, and enjoying the scenery. Now, the middle of the pack from places 24 to about 12th place, we went to war, we went to war! 24 players makes this game absolutely hectic. Where Mario Kart went from having about 8 players per race to 12 players in Mario Kart Wii, that must have been a little jarring for players at the time. Mario Kart Wii's item system is absolutely cracked. It's just insane and borderline unfair at times. But with enough time, it was manageable. If you learned the ins and outs and techs and whatnot, you could utilize these items to your advantage.
That's why Mario Kart Wii is one of the most competitive Mario Karts out there. Mario Kart has always had a strong sense of RNG. I mean, it's part of the game's nature with item boxes and all, but there's always been a strong balance of RNG and skill, in my opinion.
In Mario Kart Wii, sure, the item you would get would be random, but knowing how to use that item and when to use it was all up to your skill level. That's kinda still present in Mario Kart World, but when you're in the pack, the best option might just be to spam whatever you get, man. Cause there's so much going on around you and everybody's using an item, you gotta do something, you know? And don't get me wrong, this is still really fun, I can't lie. I've been having a blast in online lobbies, but it still does feel like skill matters a little less than before. And I don't know if it's just me, but it feels like a lot of these items have been nerfed. The bullet bill especially does not feel as strong as it did before. In Mario Kart 8, I believe only one player is allowed to have a bullet bill at one time, but in this game, they just completely scrapped that. Now, multiple people can be in a bullet at once. Bananas don't really kill momentum like they used to, same as shells. Getting hit with one of these things in Wii and 8 feels way more consequential than it does in this game. Items in Mario Kart Wii really had that you know what I mean? You sensed a bullet bill behind you and you knew if that thing hit you, then your race would be over. Now half the time the bullet bill doesn't even hit you for real. It just pushes you off to the side. Polite bullet bill. That's not no bullet bill. Man, that's just Bill.
Embarrassing.
And I know they nerfed the items on purpose in order to make 24 players a little bit more manageable. I don't like that. I understand why they did it, and that's why I don't like 24 players as a concept. I guess what I'm trying to say is I feel like 24 players puts a little less emphasis on skill and more on just randomized unfairness. It doesn't strike that balance that I was talking about, you know? And while still a very fun system, it does end up feeling a little brain dead.
Maybe we should wait a little longer to see how the meta of this game forms, but honestly, I can't see this not being an issue.
Now, the easiest fix for that would be the game just providing some sort of 12-player mode for those who want a more traditionally competitive experience. I know not everyone plays Mario Kart for competitive reasons, but a lot do. We want representation too. Keep 24-player mode because it is still really fun in a crazy hectic kind of way, but also give us 12-player mode for a more calculated and competitive experience.
When I played this game with my friends who don't really care about video games all that much but still love Mario Kart, we had a blast. But for anybody who is actually familiar with the series, they will tell you that 24 players is just a little too crazy.
Whenever I play online, I really don't feel like I'm winning or losing because of skill, more just based on how lucky I got with my items. I'm not gonna lie, it is still kind of fun to just spam items and see what place you end up in, but I do kind of see the flaws in that approach. I mean, I'm still gonna play online for hundreds of hours, but still. I am absolutely loving this game. I feel like every new Mario Kart title goes through a cycle of it coming out and being radically different from the previous game, people getting upset at that, playing it more, and then over time adapting and growing to love the new game. And then the cycle repeats with the next release. A lot of people hated Mario Kart Wii when it first came out because of all the new stuff it introduced. And nowadays, this game is literally considered a classic. Most of what makes modern Mario Kart originated with this game, and would you believe that people did not like it when it first came out? I feel like Mario Kart World is going through the same thing. From what I've seen, mean, people are loving it, but they're having a really hard time adjusting to it. It's just different. They added rail grinding and charge jumps and all this new stuff. It does not play like Mario Kart 8 did. Shoot, I'm nowhere near figuring out how to properly utilize all these new mechanics, but rest assured I'll get there one day. But that change might put off a lot of people. If you are feeling that way about this game, I just advise you to play more of it, man. I was feeling the exact same way, but the more I played it, the more it just kinda clicked with me. Only time will tell how this game stacks up against Mario Kart 8 and Mario Kart Wii in the long run, but honestly, I'm feeling pretty hopeful. I've been watching videos from people who do not like this game, and the majority of their critiques that they give come from a point of, it's not like Mario Kart 8. They changed this, they changed that. Even when I first started playing the game, I was put off by the changes. But the more I played, the more they just started to grow on me. And we also have to understand that in terms of content, it's hard to compare this game to a game like Mario Kart 8, which has like 10 years of updates and DLC under its belt. I think in due time, if Nintendo actually decides to give this game DLC, it can grow into something even greater than we ever imagined. But I'm having so much fun with this game already, man, it's insane. I highly recommend that you pick this up.
Now the question is it worth $80? Nah.
I don't think any game has $80 worth of content, to be honest. That is a big price to ask for, especially in this economy. Shoot, for $80, Mario better hop out the screen and play the game with me. Nintendo is doing this on purpose because they know, no matter what, people will buy. The reason every game on the Switch 1 was a flat $60 was because even though that was more expensive than Nintendo games have been before, people would still buy. And in turn, give Nintendo more profit. But $80 is just inexcusable, man. I'd recommend just buying it in the bundle so you only have to pay $50 for it. That is a much better deal in my opinion. Growing up, my mom would barely even buy me games that cost $40. So these kids ain't gonna be getting nothing. These games are $80. I mean, I would have bought the bundle anyway because who wants a console without a game? But it's still the principle that they've priced a standalone copy at $80. That just sets the precedent of, well, we got away with pricing Mario Kart World at $80, so we might as well price everything else at that price. These suckers gonna buy it anyways. Give me the money. Just give me my money. So just do not buy this game alone. Buy the bundle, please. I mean, you're most likely going to. I don't know who would buy a Switch 2 without Mario Kart World, but I know you freaks are out there.
You know what? I got some good ideas. Why don't I work at Nintendo?
One Nintendo phone call later. I want to make myself very clear. Never call this number again. Do you understand me?